Good evening. My name is Yolanda Wilder, founder and CEO of Women Entrepreneurs of America. And I'm here with the Women Entrepreneurs of America Chicago Chapter. This is an exciting time. We are so honored to be here and to greet you. And today is about supporting entrepreneurs. Women Entrepreneurs of America is a 501c3 nonprofit membership-based organization, and it was started in Cleveland, Ohio, approximately 13 years ago, of which I wanted to start an organization to support and empower disadvantaged women that were starting their own businesses and help them globally with sustainability, opportunities to grow, and opportunities to build relationship with other entrepreneurs like themselves. Today I have with me, and I'm so honored, is two of our executives of our Chicago chapter. I started the Chicago chapter approximately back in January 2006, and this was such an exciting time because the Chicago area is growing of entrepreneurs. So today I would love for you to join me in hearing more about some of the phenomenal things that the Chicago chapter is doing. First and foremost, I want to thank two of my wonderful members, Iesha Trotter of Brown Sugar Balloons and Yvonne Spear of Multicultural Community Project. Good evening, ladies.
Good evening.
How y'all doing tonight?
Fantastic.
You know what? This is a great time to share with the listeners and those that's tuned in about entrepreneurship and what the wonderful world is about being entrepreneurs. So what I'd like to do first is let's talk about our relationship of how you all became part of Women Entrepreneurs of America. And of course, we are so honored that the youngest member of our organization in the Chicago chapter is Iesha Trotter. Tell everybody a little bit about Brown Sugar Balloons.
So Brown Sugar Balloons started on March 4th, 2004. So I have been doing this same business for a little over 11 years.
Wow.
There was not any balloon shops in the Inglewood area, so I decided that I will open one. And I actually grown to really love balloons and balloon designs.
Well, the amazing thing about it, you stepped out 11 years ago, but what makes you an entrepreneur?
I have been an entrepreneur since the age of 14 years old. My 8th grade teacher did not give me a summer job because she felt like I was not one of the students who needed one. So my dad bought me 4 snowball juices once. And every year after that, I was 18 going into the candy store. And so I started working for myself. Then at 14, I was making $100 a day. So that was awesome. No kids, no bills, nothing but school. And it has just been, if I couldn't get my own job, I would create one. And so that's what I did. Right. And I created one then, not knowing that it would lead me to what I'm doing now.
Awesome. You know, those that are tuned in needs to know it has to be about passion and about persistence. And what I have been so honored about you being a part of the Chicago chapter when I met you over a year ago is that you are very determined and you have integrity about not only, which as you can see is a sample of your work right here, but the beauty about what you bring to it is that you have a heart about this business. Tell us a little bit more about your whole goal and where you see yourself going with Brown Sugar Balloons.
My whole goal is, with the balloon designs, is ultimately to create a full-line banquet hall where I can do all of my work myself. However, what I wanted for my life is for God to bless me and allow me to be a blessing to others, so that if I'm able to create jobs for others, then that is what I would like to do, as well as to being supportive of my friends who are in business that are not-for-profits, although I am a for-profit business.
Excellent, excellent. Well, your alliance with Women Entrepreneurs America, the Chicago chapter, has been absolutely phenomenal. Real briefly, what made you decide to join Women Entrepreneurs America?
After I met Delisha, we had a conversation, who is now Chicago chapter president. I realized we didn't meet by chance. because I learned how she works. And so I knew that when I had planned the event, that she knew that she wanted to be there. And so I ended up canceling the event, but we had an extended conversation when she came back to my shop. And she said some things, and that was my very first time meeting her in person. And I said, you know what, she's right. I'm just meeting this lady the very first time, and she have told me some things about my life that I know I need to change. And one of the things was entrepreneurship is a lifestyle, and not everybody is going to understand that. And we think totally different than people who are not entrepreneurs. And so I had to surround myself with other entrepreneurs. And so she invited me to another event that I was unaware of, WEA. And so at that event, I decided I need to be a part of this.
And was that the event that they did the wine
It was.
tasting? Okay,
it
in
was
February.
the wine tasting event.
Absolutely.
And it was amazing, and just the support of the women there supporting each other. Then I knew that's what I needed with my business at that time.
And at that time, you was expecting.
I was. I was. And it has been awesome because now I have this other story that I always tell, and I tell it to everyone. I told it to my class, and they just thought that was the most amazing thing, is that when you sign up to do something, you have to get it done. And when I decided that I was going to do the Bud Billington Parade last year, I didn't realize that I would literally be due any day. But at 5 o'clock in the morning, Delisha picked me up. My founder came out of town, which was awesome, and we was up at 5 a.m. blowing balloons and got the job done.
Absolutely.
So that was awesome.
Well, we were very honored. One thing about Women Entrepreneurs of America and what I had envisioned when I started this 13 years ago, we will be 13 years in November this year, is that we want to be a support system to help other entrepreneurs. And entrepreneurs like yourself that is raising a family, a single parent at the time, and expecting any day. And here it is, you got this big contract with servicing the 85th annual Bud Billiken Parade. And guess what? You pulled it off because your WEA sisters, as we call them, came. I came from Indianapolis, Indiana, brought some help. Our wonderful sister Delisha came. We had some few others that came and supported. And we marched in the 85th Bud Billiken Parade, which was a dream of mine to do. I was so excited about that because I always wanted to be in the Bud Billiken Parade, be a part of it and everything.
And the 85th Bud Billington Parade was a part of, besides, it's a part of history every year, but the 85th Bud Billington Parade was a part of history that was amazing.
And Brown Sugar Balloons was a part of that. Women Entrepreneurs America was part of that. And so we thank you so much for being so persistent, because again, she's due any day. I'm talking about any day. Big as all outdoors, wobbling around there. We met all the public officials in the city and shake hands, and they got a chance to meet you operate in business. That's what entrepreneurship is all about. I mean, you have family, you have friends, but you really wanted to be hands-on involved with that, and that speaks volumes. So it was truly an honor and just exciting that you are a part of Women Entrepreneurs of America.
Thank you. I'm excited.
So next, this is so exciting because, again, you know, I have 16 chapters now. There's 16 chapters of Women Entrepreneurs of America, and our first chapter was Detroit, and now we're down to a new chapter we're going to implement in Arizona. But throughout the challenges of growing this wonderful organization, over 800 and some members strong, Chicago has always been an empowerment chapter to me, because the mindset of the women here is about supporting and empowerment. And that's what I get when I come to Chicago. That's like every time I get opportunity, I'm glad to come to Chicago. But I had a wonderful opportunity last November at our Thanksgiving event that we held downtown, was to meet Yvonne Spear. And of course, we're networking. Women Entrepreneurs America is on Facebook, we're on LinkedIn, we're on Twitter. Check us out. But that social media piece is so important, and we'll find that out more and more. And this is how Women Entrepreneurs America has grown, because we've networked social media, broaden our alliance, build so many relationships. And here is Yvonne Spear,
Yes.
and the wonderful CEO of Multicultural Community
Community.
Project right here in Chicago. And last year was absolutely wonderful getting a chance to meet you. You joined immediately, of course, and sitting here today, she's serving as the vice president of the chapter, newly appointed vice president. Yvonne,
ma'am.
tell us everything. Tell us a little bit about the Multicultural.
Well, the Multicultural Community Project is a collaboration of business owners. And what we do, we network together to produce events and teach each other best practices in business from a business owner to business owner standpoint. One of the things that I learned in being college educated, they teach you all the answers are in a book. But when it comes to entrepreneurship, all your answers aren't in a book. I've learned more from entrepreneurs like both of you than I've learned in the textbook version of everything, because they can't tell you how to handle those day-to-day situations. So I actually came to Entrepreneurs of America through Delisha also. And Delisha, with her fundraisers and everything, we started working together, and I found a kindred spirit in Delisha. So we started talking, and I had an event coming up, and she said, I would like to introduce you to WEA. I said, WEA? She said, Women's Entrepreneurs of America. And at my event, we were selling tables, and she said, I'm going to buy a table. This is going to be the WEA table. And she made the introduction. You and I had a conversation. And the best thing about it, and I don't get impressed too often, and I felt something. It's funny, in the Tom Hanks movie with Meg Ryan, they always say magic.
Yes.
And the thing is, I felt that magic, and I felt those kindred spirits. Being an entrepreneur, especially a female entrepreneur, your family doesn't always understand. Your friends don't understand. You can't mix friendship and business. So it's hard to find those kindred spirits. And that's one of the things that I found here. Also, I've found that I really enjoyed the sisterhood. One thing I've always admired and respected about Delisha, she said, what do you need me to do? And I used to be that control freak. I'll do everything. But the thing about it, through working with her and working through Women's Entrepreneurs of America, I've learned to let go, because now I have a support system and people I can depend on. I can pick up the phone. I met Iesha, and she came and did these fabulous balloons.
Yes.
And I was so excited. I posted them all over social media. And I got so many responses. Who did your balloons? And of course, I always direct them there. We take pictures, and they're always fabulous. So I think highly of everybody I've met in this organization. And it's been just a powerhouse of women, and I love that.
You know what? It's such an honor to hear you say that. And coming from my peers, the challenges that we go through as women in business is already top of, the charts. But when we're working with one another, it's always another challenge. And one thing that we want to always, expunge on in Women Entrepreneurs of America, that we have to have that sisterhood support, togetherness. We can disagree respectfully. There's always room for growth. But one thing that we want to do is empower and encourage one another. That has always been the basis about Women Entrepreneurs of America. One thing about you two being here, just sharing here in Chicago, is that it's enlightening to see how we all come together and brainstorm. That's another concept of Women Entrepreneurs. Yes. Let's brainstorm some ideas. We have to continuously create. We have to learn how to continuously to excel. Because again, when you get stagnated after a while,
Yes.
you be in the business. So I say that Women Entrepreneurs of America, from the envision from me, was to meet women like you. I had no clue when I started this that I was going to meet not only some phenomenal women, but I'm meeting women with challenges. Disadvantage is what it's all about, because we are so limited. So with that being said, and we're just going to go back around the room, what are some of the challenges would you say that you're having, Iesha, and how can women entrepreneurs, or how have Women Entrepreneurs America assisted you?
Some of the challenges that I had, like Yvonne, I won't say, I think that it was a control issue, but I like to do everything because I never had people that I can depend on to say, can you do this, and they'll get it done.
Right.
So it's like, well, if I do this, I know I can get it done. So I have learned to let go. I have learned to ask for help and and not worry about not being able to get it, because I know if I pick up the phone and I call Delisha, or I call Yvonne, or I call you, my founder, that somebody's going to help me. So that has been awesome for me, because it has definitely been one of my challenges. Another one is I've outgrown myself.
Yes.
So with that being said, I had to, and I'm still learning to let go, that I still can't do everything, even when I try to do everything, and I have to prioritize, and I think I've been doing pretty good with that.
Very
So
good.
awesome.
She learned some key things in this last year, hasn't she? Now, what about you, Yvonne? Now, you're seasoned because
Yes.
you've been involved in your background is real estate, banking,
Yes.
correct? And, of course, you involved with nonprofits as well. But what would you say is one of the challenges working with women such as ourselves? What would you say some of the challenges are?
Well, one of my biggest challenges was my control issues. It's great to put something together all by yourself, and
Wait a minute,
you know
you
that
said
you
control
can.
issues?
Yes,
Yvonne,
but
control issues? What?
But the thing is, when people show up to help you execute,
Right.
because when you learn about collaboration and true collaboration, you have to be able to not hold it so close to the vest, but to say, hey, I can share this idea with you, and be able to relax, and you're not over here doing the same idea or anything like that. There's no professional jealousy in this organization. And that's one thing that I love, because I have encountered that, and it's a horrible feeling to go through. It's a horrible feeling to feel betrayed and all of those emotions that come from it. But in business, you learn to step out of your emotions and execute the business. But it does not mean that you don't feel those things. You just have to feel those later.
Absolutely.
But at this time, I've learned that I can say, and I'm famous for texting in the middle of the night because I got this great idea. And people respond to it and say, you know what, I think that's good. I can do this, I can do that. We'll put this together and we'll work on this together, which is great. Last year, my organization, we did a back to school event, and we were able to give out 500 book bags to children. And school supplies, we got Walgreens and everything. But the problem was I was exhausted for 5 days because I didn't know how to release control. Even though I had people that came and helped me, I found that I was busy running around and everybody else was sitting back because they had nothing to do, because I never gave it to them. I didn't trust. So, and this year we're having our annual event, Jazzin' in July again.
Okay.
But I already have people already ready to say, I'm excited about this, we're going to do this, so that we can fund this back to school program. And this year we're going to give out 1,000 book bags to kids.
Very good.
And get them ready for school. But I know that I could depend on my WEA sisters to help me.
Absolutely.
And we'll
absolutely.
achieve that goal, not just for myself being self-serving, but for all of us to do good in the community. Because those little girls that we see today can be our WEA sisters tomorrow.
Exactly.
And they just have to see us out there as living examples.
Absolutely, absolutely. Let's focus on the Chicago chapter, because one thing about it is that you guys have some wonderful programs and some things in place. Again, we're under new leadership. Again, we really want to thank Iesha Trotter for serving as our board member, because we really need the vision of someone that's in the trenches of entrepreneurship to serve, because you understand what it is all about in not only running and sustaining the business, but what are the challenges that our future members and those that join this chapter bring to the table. And of course, Yvonne Spear is now the newly appointed vice president. So kind of share a little bit what some of the things the Chicago chapter is going to be doing over the next quarter.
Well, we're going to get out more in the community and help serve the community, as well as different programs that will help women entrepreneurs get those contracts, such as Iesha did with the city's Department of Procurement, as well as getting their certifications so that they can do that. And just talking about business, having that round table, that event that everybody can honestly talk about it and let down those barriers, let your hair down, and be real with everybody and say, you know what, this is what I'm going through. Because everybody learns from somebody. And if you can let go, you can really learn a lot in this organization.
Absolutely. You know, one thing that I always share with you all is that we're going to always be a grassroots concept, because it's all about the basics.
Yeah.
We know modern technology is taking over. Everything's electronic. Everything is on the internet. But it's all about keeping about the basics. We still need to be able to pick up the phone and speak with one another. We need to get off the texting, doing business. We need to learn how to be more formal in having offline meetings. You know, come off of social media sometimes and connect and meet and talk about some of the things. And this is one of the things that we really edify in Women Entrepreneurs of America. Monthly membership meetings are so important. You know, having our wonderful networking events that we host. I know that you guys are going to be hosting an upcoming meet and greet here soon. Very important to introduce what the chapter has to bring to help inspiring entrepreneurs. It's so important. Also, what we want to do is make sure that we have workshops in place, you know, so that we can talk about some of the topics like procurement, minority business certifications, funding. We know that's the big thing right now, how to get funding. We know there's a lot of nonprofits out there that need support. And I'm so excited that we can announce that we're adding to our agenda. We're supporting female veterans, homeless veterans. I'm so excited that we brought on the wonderful Iesha Thomas, one savvy veteran that has just joined our chapter. And you know, right out of Philadelphia is what spearheaded, our Philadelphia chapter is what spearheaded that support, because we now finding out that the female homeless veterans need support. Whether they want to start a business, whether they need toiletries, whether they need consultations. But as women, entrepreneurs of America, it's important that we step up to the plate to see how we can support them. What's your view on that, about us adding that to our program here in the Chicago chapter?
Well, that is awesome, because there are a lot of women veterans who are homeless, and because they have been in a situation, they're afraid to talk about it. Before I met Iesha Thomas, I was working with, and currently is working with, a homeless woman veteran.
Wow.
And I was just telling her about women's entrepreneurs and how that we can assist her in starting her home business and maybe gain housing. And so now that Iesha joined, it's awesome, because now she has a direct link through One Savvy Veterans as well as Women's Entrepreneurs of America. So I'm just hoping to bring her along soon.
Very good.
Absolutely.
Yes, ma'am, Yvonne.
One of the great things, Iesha spoke at Cocktails for Entertainment's event, and she brought up a very important point about the misconceptions that people have about veterans. And she used the example of post-traumatic stress syndrome, that everybody in some sense has experienced it. It's not just stigmatized by veterans, that if you lose a loved one, you go through traumatic circumstances, your reactions are the same. So the stigmatisms that are attached to veterans, it's time to let down a lot of those barriers and see these people who served our country as men and women that have fought for our independence, but now that they've come home, to open our doors and assist them in any way we can.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, one thing about it, we have some platforms. There's still a lot of work to do. There's so many women out there as well as men, and we'll talk about that in a few minutes, because we are a very well diversified organization. We do have men in our organization, right, ladies? We call them heroes. And our heroes are our male division, and we support the endeavors of our male constituents, because they help balance a lot of us in the entrepreneur world. We know men rule the business world. That's what they say, but we broke that glass ceiling, everybody. So guess what? We are, we're rising to the top as entrepreneurs. But one thing about that Women Entrepreneurs of America wants to share with our listeners is that it's our goal to be able to give back to inspiring entrepreneurs, those that are disadvantaged, those that do not have an opportunity to be able to have the usage of information. Information is so much power. And a lot of times when you're stepping out in business, you don't have a support system. It's just like drugs and alcohol. You need a support system in place. And so right here in the Chicago chapter, we want those to know that is tuned in that our Chicago chapter is seeking mind-like entrepreneurs to join us when you guys agree. We're so excited that that the growth of not only the national, we're now international. We have a wonderful international-based Canada, India, and now we just brought on the Bahamas, the Caribbean, as well as Bangalore, Spain. Great shout out to Angel Regis Felix out of Philadelphia and Carmi Marino, that's out of Bangalore, Spain, that is helping us take what Women Entrepreneurs of America is all about to another level, helping our international sister entrepreneurs. So it's really important for us here in the United States to be about the business of business. You guys know that is what my vision and we is all about. So as we get ready to wrap this up, let's kind of tap on about what the Chicago chapter got. We just had a wonderful Mother's Day, first of all. Happy Mother's Day to you, of course. And Cocktails for Entertainment, which is a wonderful for-profit business that grew out of the Chicago chapter. Do me the honors to share about Cocktails for Entertainment real quick.
Well, Cocktails for Entertainment is an elite concierge service. The CEO is Iesha Williams Broccoli, and she is also the Chicago chapter president. What they do is they help non-for-profits raise money by inviting friends to a cocktail party, which is 2 hours, and you invite 5 friends. Each friend pays $25. $250 goes toward the non-for-profit. Another $250 goes toward one of the attendees. They get to win a $250 shopping spree.
Wow.
It's every first of the month. We rotate different places, and it is a fabulous event. So I highly recommend it. I was told Delisa, I'm one of her cheerleaders all the time.
We are one of her cheerleaders.
Yes, absolutely.
Can I add to that?
Sure.
Because also another great thing is because not only do she support other non-for-profits, she supports small businesses as well. So one of the small business sponsors are allowed to win $250.
Yes.
From another small business.
Absolutely.
And you know what? The vision of that dream came from her doing fundraisers for other small businesses. And the amazing thing about it, Delisha is truly a phenomenal entrepreneur. And we knew she was stuck somewhere in trying to figure out what she was going to do with this fundraising concept. And thank God, first of the year, she created a business out of it.
Absolutely.
And it has grown. And just this past Mother's Day, she hosted a wonderful Mother's Day event right there in Madison, Illinois, at that Holiday Inn, correct? Yes. A wonderful comedy show. Let me tell you something. It was out of sight. Yes. And one thing about it, not only the mothers that was there, the comedians was great, the vendors were awesome. The company, Magic Lighting, was there.